Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brainbean here again, and today we're going to be taking a look at Razer's new Orochi V2 wireless gaming mouse. And I do have a code to give one of you guys your own custom Orochi V2. I'll have all the details on that at the end of the video, but for now, let's check it out. Before we get into the review, I do want to mention this format for today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal. I was pretty sick over the weekend and didn't have the time I normally do to put into the videos, so I wanted to put together just kind of a quick way to walk you guys through the mouse and talk about my experience with it so far. So bear with me on that, but let's go ahead and just dive right into the Orochi V2. So obviously, like I mentioned, this is Razer's new ultra portable wireless gaming mouse, and I feel like this is more designed for use for on the go, kind of throw in a laptop bag. Definitely has that sort of feel to it. And we look at the mouse kind of overall. Overall build construction here feels really nice. You don't have creaking or anything like that. I like that it has sort of that nice classic Razer mouse matte texture to it. So if you've used like a Viper or Death Adder or something like that, you'd be pretty used to how this mouse feels. Although it doesn't have any rubber grips on it, which I feel like is pretty typical for their smaller mice. We noticed this with the Viper Mini and stuff like that. Although you can use releasing with this mouse Razer's new universal grip kit, which has got a bunch of little rubber stickers that you can put on to mice, keyboards, controllers, stuff like that. So you could do that if you wanted to. Now, one of the cool things with the Orochi V2 is their customs program, which if you're familiar with, the custom mouse mats that they have and stuff like that, you can also get customizable, swappable top plates for these mice. And so they've got lots of different styles that you can choose from. Now, you can't upload your own custom images at this time, but they do have a lot of different ones to choose from. They've got some licensed stuff like Dead Mouse, other little things like cherry blossoms and kind of like geometric stuff. And they just pop on with magnets and overall feel pretty solid. I don't notice like wiggling on the mouse buttons or stuff like that when they're on. The only thing to note is that when you use the custom ones, it's more of a smooth glossy texture versus the matte that comes with the traditional kind of mouse. Now, when we look at the design philosophy behind the Orochi V2, there's some cool stuff going on here, which in my testing, I kind of liken this mouse to like being deceptively more feeling like a full-size gaming mouse, and that's one of the coolest things about it. And they've done a lot of cool, like, neat little things with it. So the first thing is they've kind of raised the hump in the back of the mouse where the palm goes, which makes it easier to palm and claw grip this thing, which would be ideal, obviously, because of the smaller size. I like how it kind of tapers at the front and the back. And they've also made it so that the mouse buttons go really, really low in the front, which makes it easier to control when you're doing flicks and stuff like that. But for me, my favorite thing is the positioning of the thumb buttons. I don't know if you guys have used like those cheap little kind of generic Logitech kind of smaller laptop mice, or a lot of them don't even have thumb buttons, but most of them have just atrocious placement on the thumb buttons. And with the Orochi, it's a very natural feeling placement, which I really, really like and find refreshing with this guy. Again, it feels like using almost like a regular Viper Ultimate is what I would liken it to, with just a slightly more right-handed ergonomic design. And so it makes it very easy to get used to this mouse, especially when using it kind of in a laptop setting. Now, one of the neat things here is that this is either Bluetooth or you can use it with the 2.4 gigahertz wireless. And if we pop off the top plate here again, we've got storage for the dongle in there, and then you'll also notice it's got two options for batteries. So you can use it with a AA, and you can use it with a AAA. And it's kind of an ingenious idea behind this, because not only are we determining the weight of the mouse by adding whichever battery we want to put in there, but it'll also change how much battery life you get with it. So the mouse on its own without any batteries weighs about 60 grams. A typical AA is about 15 grams, and then a AAA is about 8. So this mouse is going to be anywhere from 75 to 68 grams, depending on which battery you put in it. And I like that if you look here, the batteries are placed kind of central to the mouse, and the way they have them kind of like diagonally facing makes it so they're going to add the same amount of weight to not only the front and back orientation, but also left and right. So, if you're using your AA, it's not super lopsided to the right side or something like that. Battery life here with a traditional AA battery is going to be about 950 hours Bluetooth and about 425 hours with the 2.4 gigahertz. Now, I don't have official numbers on the AAA, and honestly don't have the time or the will to test the battery length on the AAA, but I would say it's probably safe to assume it's much less, or about half. Now, in my mind, the difference between the weights on the AA and the AAA is pretty unnoticeable. And if you were to ask me for like my mobile mouse solution, I would definitely choose the battery life over weight. And I feel like in the case of this mouse, actually having a little bit more weight behind it makes it easier to manage, because I feel like having a very small and very light mouse almost makes it a little unwieldy almost, because it's so light and not flicky. I like to feel like I have a little bit of resistance when I'm maneuvering the mouse. Now, this mouse does use Razer's 5G optical sensor, and kind of getting into the maneuvering aspect of it here. One cool thing they did with the design of the Orochi is they mounted the sensor to be more front oriented. And I think because this is such a small mouse, if they had it mounted in the center, when you go to do kind of flicking motions, there's not going to be as much movement for the sensor. So by placing it a little bit more forward, you do get a lot more movement out of those kind of flicky motions with it, and it picks those up better. So it's pretty cool. Of course, the 5G optical sensor is used in a lot of Razer's mice, so the overall performance there was pretty much what I expected. Not a whole lot really worth going over there.
Super smooth, super consistent as always.
And then talking about the buttons, it's a 6-button mouse. We've got obviously mouse 4 and 5 here that we've already touched on. Nice, crisp, tactile click to them. Just a tiny bit of pre-travel there, but really not that much. And then we've got Razer's 2nd gen mechanical switches, which really I would have preferred to see the optical switches. And I feel like Razer should just honestly just go all optical switches on their mice from now on. The only reason I could think of that maybe they went mechanical here was just to preserve battery life by not going the optical route. But really I would rather have less battery life and have the optical switches just to eliminate the potential of double clicks down the line and just have overall longevity. So that's really one gripe I have there. Looking at the bottom, we've got, of course, the PTFE feet, and you'll notice there is no RGB on this mouse, which doesn't really bother me. Then of course we've got the DPI button, and then we've got the scroll wheel, which has a nice, good tactile feel to it. I would liken it very similar, not only in feel, but also height and tactility to the Viper Ultimate. So overall, for $70, I'm a little bit conflicted with this mouse, to be honest with you guys. I mean, on the one hand, in terms of overall performance, this is gonna live in my laptop bag for the foreseeable future. I can't stress enough the deceptive nature of the mouse feeling like a full-size gaming mouse in this small package, because it really does conform to your hand well. And even somebody for me who's on the above large scale of Razer's mice, for hand size, it feels very comfortable to use. On the other hand, I feel like for $70, not having the optical switches in there is a bummer. And I would have rather seen this come in around the $50 price point, because I feel like realistically, for this mouse's intended use, it's not going to get that much use day to day. You know, nobody wants to spend, in my opinion, more than $50 on a mouse that's going to live in a laptop bag and realistically not see that much use, especially right now during COVID times. I mean, how often are you busting out your laptop unless you're just chilling on the couch or something like that? And in that case, it's not going to be used probably for a long time. That being said, I wouldn't recommend this mouse as a daily driver on your desktop, because I feel like there's just better wireless options out there, like the Viper Ultimate or the DeathAdder V2 Pro, and realistically you can get those on sale, so you really only need to save up a little bit more than the $70 base price that this is going to cost you. So I would go that route if you're going daily driver on your desktop. So I guess in that case, if you want the best compact, nice wireless experience for gaming that you could get with your notebook, and the $70 price point doesn't scare you away, then the Orochi V2 is a winner in my book in that regard. But I do think it's still a little bit on the expensive side, but in overall performance and kind of general use, I am very impressed with this one. Anyways, guys, that's it for this review. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this format. And of course, if you want to enter to win an Orochi V2 and have a code to customize your own swappable plate, all you have to do is make sure you subscribe to this channel and leave your Twitter handle in the comments so that I can announce it and contact you there. But anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next one.